Hey guys, and happy Wednesday. I want to say thank you to each and every guest, supporter, and viewer, because without you, there would be no Indie Spotlight or Indie Spotlight Special Edition. I am your host, Shayrenee, and this episode of the Indie Spotlight Special Edition Wednesdays, happening only on Instagram Live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is a very, very special one. I am honored and extremely excited to be interviewing Tito Puente Jr., the son of the late, legendary king of Latin music, Tito Puente. When Tito comes in, we'll invite him to the camera and start the interview. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Oh, I don't want to forget to say this. Please, please keep your comments to a minimum so we do not distract our guests. But you can ask all of the questions you like in the questions box. I will get back to as many questions as I can during this live. I hope you guys are feeling good. I forgot to say that I'm stationed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And if you want to ask any questions now while we're waiting, I'm definitely open to answering everything you would want. Let's try. Oh, there he is. He's in the room. Okay, so we're going to.
What's up?
Hi, hello.
All right, I start off like this. With a cowbell.
Yeah.
What's up, girl?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. How are you?
All right, I just came from a walk, so I feel energized.
I just want to say I'm so excited to interview you, and I wanted to thank you for being so reachable and so being able to communicate with you so well.
Well, I feel, during this whole quarantine and pandemic thing, it's nice to reach out to people such as yourself and just, guide everybody to new and exciting things. There are shows happening. There's music out there. Our artists are still here. We're all still around. And thank you for thinking of me. And I'm glad I got the opportunity to chat with you tonight.
Yes, and I'm so happy that you accepted.
Cool. Yeah, man.
So first, I wanted to ask you. Now I know that your dad, Tito Puente, who I'm sorry about, may he rest in peace.
Yes.
Was from El Barrio, New York. Where are you actually? Or in Harlem? I think East Harlem, El Barrio, New York, East Harlem. Where are you from? Are you from of the same area?
I'm going to let you try to figure it out. I'm going to talk like a New Yorker.
You can tell them from New York.
All right. I am from Spanish Harlem. I was born and raised in New York City. My father is from El Barrio, which is East Harlem, 110th Street, born and raised there. They have a street named after him over there. And most of my family, my sister Audrey, my brother Ronnie, and my mother were all born in the 5 boroughs of Manhattan: Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens, and of course, El Barrio, which is Harlem. So yes, I am from New York City. And I lived in the west side of New York City when I was growing up, but my father was born on the east side, which was Spanish Harlem at the time. They still call it El Barrio, Spanish Harlem, where there's a big conglomerate of Hispanic and Puerto Rican community there. But Tito Puente was born and raised in Harlem, New York, and he brought the mambo around the world. And it's been 21 years. This coming May 31st will be 21 years since his passing. Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Feels like yesterday. It's wild. Yeah.
So I read in a January 2020 article that you want to bring your father's story as a movie to life. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. Okay, so it's actually it's a twofold thing. We are working with Mr. Edward James Olmos, who is a actor. A lot of people know him from the Selena movie and, of course, American Me and Zoot Suit, and I can go on and on with the movie accolades that he has. Mr. Edward James Olmos, not only was he a fan of Tito Puente, but he was a friend as well, and has been an advocate of Latin music throughout his whole career. Notwithstanding his acting abilities are incredible, but he reached out to us and he wanted to ascertain the rights to the Tito Puente story. So last year we announced on May 31st of last year, so it's been a year, but we had to put a little break on it simply because of the pandemic and what came to fruition with that. But now we are back on track to releasing by December of this year, hopefully, a documentary on Tito Puente's life story. So this is something that we've been working on, and what I've done is I'm part of the creative process of the whole thing, where we're getting exclusive content for you, the fan, to see Tito Puente, my father, in his natural habitat as being dear old dad, and not that man that you see on stage. So you're going to see him during Christmas time, a lot of family exclusive stuff that you'll see from Thanksgiving, my father hanging out backstage. You'll hear his voice a lot. A lot of people just see him playing. They never really heard the man himself. And you will see that exclusive footage in this docu-series. Not only will it be a documentary, but it'll be a series, an 8-part series. We're not sure which platform it'll be on, but we're looking forward to getting the trailer out this summer. And you guys can see it this winter. It'll be a Tito Puente documentary. And then in 2022, we're in the works of having a biopic on the life story of the king of Latin music, Tito Puente. Exciting stuff.
That is a lot of exciting stuff, and we will definitely be watching out for that. Could you tell everyone where they can find you and everything like that? All your social media platforms.
I'm going to first plug, and I'll post it up right here, as a matter of fact. I'm going to plug first the website for the documentary, because I know there's a lot of Tito Puente fans out there that would love to hear about it. I just posted it there. It's called thetitopuenteproject.com, and you guys can see the production on how we're putting it all together. Mr. Edward James Olmos, and he'll be narrating the thing. And it's a very, very exciting project putting it together. It's a lot of tedious work, but we are interviewing some of the great celebrities that my father worked with, and of course those who are still with us and those who are not with us anymore. But you can go to that website and check it out. You can see the progress of the whole thing. And then, of course, I'm Mr. Social Media Butterfly. So you can find me on Instagram right here at Tito Puente Jr., and then on Facebook, and I'm starting to do the TikTok. My kid's getting me into the TikTok thing.
Yeah.
So, my kids are really good at it, so I'm kind of just they're guiding me through the whole TikTok thing. I'll be launching a brand new website for my new album that's coming out June 1st. And it's funny because it's on my birthday. It's being released. I'll be 50 years old, Shay.
No, what you look bad. You look great.
Thank you, darling.
I would have never guessed it.
I got no gray hair yet. No gray hair yet. That's the good Puerto Rican in me. I take care of myself. I eat well. But the new album is called The King and I. It's a 10-song album, a tribute to Tito Puente, my late father. This was supposed to come out last year, but we waited through the pandemic to record everybody, and now we finally finished the album. The new single is called 20th Anniversary, 20 años in Spanish, and I have Tony Vega, Jose Beto Canario, Frankie Negron, Yolanda Duque, Emeñique. These are all singers that work with my father. And they're still alive today, 20 years after his passing. So I got them the tribute on my album. And I have a special invited guest, Pete Escovedo and Sheila E. playing on the album as well. Very exciting. Super, super, super tribute. And I hope you guys can check it out. We'll be doing some T-shirts, and I got a hot sauce coming out. So this will be out June 1st. And you guys could just follow my website or my Instagram page, and you can see all about it. Brand new record, Tito Puente Jr., plus the documentary, plus the movie. I'm doing a lot. With no white hair. Yeah.
Well, I love it. We definitely need that energy. It's definitely exciting. I can't wait to listen to your album and look at the documentary. That'll make us want to dance and stuff and go back out there and socialize and talk to each other and all those good things.
Yeah, it's a really good opportunity for everybody who is a mambo dancer to experience that history of Tito Puente. The album's chock full of hot mambo numbers where you can dance to and even do some TikToks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to see them use one of your songs and one of your father's songs and make a dance challenge about it.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, there's a lot of mambo dancers out there. I see all of them around the world, from Japan to Italy to South America to the Caribbean. I see mambo dancers all over the internet, and hopefully they will enjoy this album. Yeah.
So the album's coming out, you said June 1st?
Yeah, the first single will come out June 1st. My birthday's June 2nd. And then the week after that, the full-length LP. I guess that's how they release records now. I'm a little older, so the way they used to do it, they put a single out, and then you get excited for the album to release. But I guess now they put out the music video, comes out on June 1st, plus the single, and the week after, the full-length LP, The King and I, on Doral Music. JNN distributes it, and it'll be on all digital platforms as well: Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. The regular places. There's so many now, I can't keep up with them. But you can download it and you can stream it and put it in your playlist and dance mambo all night long.
That's right? Yeah. Just dance from staying in from quarantine. We do need to dance, and it does make you feel better.
Yes, and I'm happy to say that now that everybody's getting the vaccine and coming out of quarantine and some things are opening up, well, I'm going to be doing some live concerts soon. I'm excited to announce that I'll be performing for my birthday weekend, June 4th and 5th at Arts Garage in Delray Beach. There's still some tickets. You guys can check me out there. I'll be up in New York on May 22nd in Linden, New Jersey. I'll also be in the Columbus Symphony in Columbus, Ohio in July. On July 18th, I'll be also in Atlanta, Georgia. I love ATL. Love going out to Atlanta. I'll be out there July 18th at the Feel Good Festival. A lot of great concerts coming up. Hopefully I'll come to your area soon, any of your fans or your viewers watching. I look forward to performing mambo music for you guys, and you guys can come out and dance, to some live music finally. Most of the concerts that I'm doing are outdoors. So that way people can feel a little safe when they come dancing salsa, because it's a very intimate dance, people dancing together and doing the rumba and cha-cha. But I encourage everybody to check it out and just check out my Facebook page for all the tour dates.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The next, I heard you actually just talk about, you're doing a video, right?
Yes, I just finished my music video. Yes.
Wow, what is the name? What is the single for this, or what is the title for this video? And you can get it on. Do you have a YouTube channel as well?
Yes, I do have a YouTube channel. You can subscribe to it. It's just Tito Puente Jr. Very easy to find. I have a lot of music videos. I work a lot with different artists as well. The new video will be released on June 1st. It's called 20 Years. 20 años. 20 is the number 20 in Spanish. Años is years. So 20 años. It features Frankie Negron, Jose Beto El Canario. These are singers that work with my father, and they're new singers as well, Michael Stewart and Domingo Quinones. And what's great about the video, Shay, is that my father's in the video. So I put a clip of him, and this is kind of like the stuff we're doing for the documentaries. I put him in the video. We tribute him. He comes in and out. He's also playing on the song. Really, really cool. Got my hair standing up. And I think most Tito Puente fans would enjoy it. It's very colorful. We filmed it down in South Florida in Wynwood area where they have a lot of colorful walls. We have some young mambo dancers in it. They're like 15, 14 years old dancing salsa. They look fantastic. These kids should be on America's Got Talent.
Wow.
And and I'm playing, and then all the artists are in the video, and then of course you got my late father. So it's almost like the way Natalie Cole did it with her father, you know, with Nat King Cole, like that. It's kind of that, but it is an up-tempo tune, very danceable. Comes out June 1st. I'll be posting a clip of it, I think next week, a little sample of it on my IG page so you guys can see it. And I can't wait till it comes out. And I love it because it's like long. It's a 4-minute and 42-second video. It's not like this really, 3-minute thing.
Yeah.
It's long and it's exciting, and I think everybody will enjoy it. It's called 20 Years, 20 Años.
Wow. Yeah, we will definitely enjoy it. And I feel like it'll make us also feel better too. And we'll be ready, and we'll be ready for it. And especially like the live performances you talk about. But I also wanted to ask you, do you have any merchandise for sale? I know your music is merchandise, but do you have merchandise for sale?
Yes, I do. That's so funny. I was just on the phone when I was walking earlier with my merch team, and we're going to be doing some T-shirts and stuff. I got some beautiful shirts that are actually going to have this image of Tito Puente on them. They're fantastic shirts. This is a cowbell right here, but we have some shirts with this emblem. We're also doing these really cool sneakers. You can see Tito Puente on the sneakers there.
Yeah,
I got a new hot sauce that I'm putting out too as well. All these things you can probably buy. I'm going to launch a website. It'll be Tito Puente Jr. merchandiseonline.com, and I'll post it up on IG, and everybody can pick up the CD. You can pick up some hot sauces, some sneakers. Maybe I'll make some toothbrushes. I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
you could get a
lot of merchandise. We have a lot of great things coming out. But yes, check me out on all my social media pages. It'll probably be just a standard Spotify store where you could just go and just got on demand. We'll do mugs and all the other stuff, but T-shirts is really where it's at. I think we got some hoodies coming up too. Tito Puente gear, sneakers. Anybody who's into mambo music, this is the merch that I will provide for you. I'm also going to be doing with the album. I got some Timbales sticks that I want to hook up people with too. The Timbales sticks are really cool. They're like limited edition Tito Puente model sticks. I have them in black, green, blue, yellow. Really cool. Big Firth. I love them. Yeah, so it'll be like a whole bundle package, just cool stuff. I think that's the way the record industry is now. People want something that they can tangible and hold. So for me, a compact disc is something that people still, my fans considerably, they like it a lot. They also like having some sort of T-shirt or some sort of sneakers or anything that's tangible that they can celebrate with me and the 20th anniversary of Tito Puente and its celebration of his music. Anybody can, of course it'll be on digital download where you can buy it, Spotify and all the other digital platforms. But if you guys want it, I will have a bundle pack ready for you guys. And I'll also be putting that into the music video. So when you see the music video, at the end of it, there'll be a website where you can go and get merchandise.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask, what is some of like the best advice you would give to an up-and-coming instrumentalist, singer, or person who wants to get into like the music business or entertainment business?
I love that question. I get that question a lot. I'm going to go with just the quote that my father taught me, Rey Timbal Tito Puente taught me. And he said, son, surround yourself with creative people, thus you'll be creative. And during these hard times, during this pandemic and quarantine, it was very difficult for all of us, you, me, everybody that's watching, and everybody that's listening to us. It has been difficult to surround ourselves with people that we care about and want to get inspired from. But as a musician, I like being around other musicians. Why? There's a camaraderie of it. When I'm with my piano player or other percussion players or singers or rappers or whoever, I get that musical commodity, and it feels so good to be around that. So if you are an upcoming musician, singer, producer, horn player, percussion player, what have you, I suggest come out of this quarantine, get your vaccine shot, and surround yourself with creative people. I think that's what really inspired me to do the things that I do. It took me 10 years, Shay, 10 years to do this album. And I wasn't inspired, but I found within me being around my musicians and them inspire me. Really, they were like, man, you're going to do an album, bro. You know, they were just like pushing me. And that was the inspiration that got me to the place. Of course, my wife too, you know, she's like, hey, you got to do a record, you know. I mean, touring the world is beautiful, but having music for people to dance to that can't see us live, especially during this whole quarantine, is something really more special for me. To me, it's like having a newborn baby. It's my baby that I'm going to share with everybody, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. And very, very exciting. But surround yourself with creative people, thus you will be creative. I encourage any kids out there that are watching, study your craft. Make sure you learn how to read and write music. Get your education. My father did not teach me how to play drums. He made me go to school. To learn how to read and write, and I'm happy to say that, and I'm proud that he pushed me to do that, because it was too easy. Being the son of the greatest Latin music legend of our time, of the 20th century, it's easy to just go on stage and perform, but I got to know what I'm doing. So he said, you got to go to school and learn how to read and write music, and I'm glad I got that opportunity through his knowledge, and him being just my father too, and my mother pushing me as well. But be around people that you care for, that are creative, and study your craft. That's what I encourage everybody to do. I love the new music that I'm seeing, Shay, on the SoundCloud and all these great platforms. I'm seeing these great new up-and-coming Latin artists, the Bad Bunnies, the Karol G's, all these great artists, and even in the English market, all the markets. Fantastic new generation of musicianship. Very happy to see it all come alive, and hopefully we come out of this with some live music.
I definitely think we will, and I definitely wanted to thank you and also thank your father for how much we bringing to like America for us to experience. Like we experience different cultures, different races and nationalities through music. We actually connect that way. That's how I learned about everything. That's how I was able to get cultured and understand.
That's right. My father traveled the world with a beautiful soul, and one of the greatest singers of the 20th century of our time, Latin music singers. And she was a black singer, and her name was Miss Celia Cruz.
Yeah.
Celia Cruz knocked down doors for Hispanics and black people around the planet, thanks to my father, who traveled to the Far East, to the Orient, to South America, to the Caribbean, around the planet, and brought Latin music to people who otherwise wouldn't listen to this music. Even to the motherland of Africa, Tito, Puente, and Celia Cruz performed there together. And it's great to see that the culture is what really matters the most to my father's music, as it brought other cultures to his music. Every time we would travel over to Japan or to Indonesia, we would go there every year, and nobody knows the language. Nobody knows Spanish or English, but they knew the lyrics. But they knew the lyrics to Oye Como Va and all the songs, and it brought people together, and they all danced. One world, one mambo, and that's what makes our music, Latin music, so much more inspiring, especially with that rhythm. Everybody dances to Latin music and the rhythm, and just the sound of the bell and the cowbell and the timbales and the percussion, the conga, the bongo. That's what people still, and they yearn for, especially now after what we went through. I think people want to yearn it for more, but that's what Tito Puente did, and Celia Cruz brought people together, brought cultures together, brought unity in this world, and hopefully that my music can continue that tradition.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's like, well, my mom tells me about all that. Tells me about all that stuff. Mrs. Cruz, your dad, all of that stuff.
Your mom got good taste in music.
Yeah. And I think that's definitely a great way for us to talk about each other and to get together and to listen to each other's music. And actually, when I was in school, I was able to listen to some world music, and we did like a few like dances and stuff like that. Now, I've never been to New York, and I've never been like really like out of the country or anything like that. But when I listen to the music from different cultures, you can travel out of the country. And if you can learn the lyrics, like you said, You are learning Spanish, which is
I
a
was
little difficult for me to learn.
absolutely. You can learn it. It's very easy. It's a 1-2. Oye, como va mi ritmo? Bueno, pues everybody knows the tune, and it's one of those songs that is universal. It's right there with Gloria Gaynor, "I Will Survive." It's right there with Macarena. It's a universal song. And notwithstanding, my father performed all around the United States and this country, and he broke down barriers. And remember, he was doing it back in the 1950s and 60s, where there was a lot of racism in this country. They weren't used to seeing Afro-Cuban music. They thought it was just, hey, that's African music. This is mambo music from New York. And my father had kinky hair, so he had experienced a lot of that hardship when he was traveling through this country, through the Midwest and all through, man. But then towards the end of his career, he was performing in Utah, Iowa, Colorado, I don't care where, in the middle, up and down the coast, even to Alaska, Hawaii, everywhere around the United States. And they finally accepted that Tito Puente is a household name, and Latin music is now a genre. It's a force to be reckoned with. Just simply because of what you hear on the radio today, Latin music is everywhere. It's worldwide. Despacito.
That was one of the biggest. That was one of the biggest videos and songs from a year or two ago. The biggest.
That's right. That's the huge monster, and that tells you, Latin music will always thrive. It will always be there. People want to dance, and it brings cultures and creeds and colors and people together. It always has. Every time I do my concerts, there's everybody from young to old, every race, religion, and they all dance one nation, one mambo. And that's the greatest part of what Tito Puente left on this planet, his legacy of bringing people together.
Yes.
Yeah.
What would be your advice for when you're starting out and you're starting to work in the studio or work with other artists? What is like some good tips to know, like when you're getting ready to work with other artists?
Well, you can order me a pizza. But when I'm working in the studio with other artists, I think most of the time I'm very quirky type of guy, you could tell. When I'm in the studio, I like to just come in and feel relaxed and play on the song. I like to listen to the tune a little bit and get the groove of it. I do hip-hop songs. I've done classical tunes, bachata, a lot of different styles of Latin music, different genres as well, merengue, tango, and every rhythm has a different feel to it, but it all starts off with that drum beat. When it comes to hip-hop, pop music, anything, it's always the beat. And I try to listen to the song first, and then I get into playing a little overdub on top of it. I'll usually bring the cowbell with me and try to keep time,
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that's what makes me universal. That's what made Tito Puente universal, because he played all types of music. He would do Jewish weddings and play mambo music, and people wouldn't understand it, but people would understand the rhythm, and that's really that was the language that he gave to everybody. But I encourage everybody that goes into the studio, listen to the songs first, get comfortable, and swing right into it. Feel them. Make sure you feel the songs. They have to be. That's important. You have to feel that soul, that clave rhythm.
How many? So, how do I pronounce the name? Is it, you said Timbale or Timbales?
Timbale. It's called Timbales. Yeah. Okay. I say it you can say it in Spanish like eso es un timbale, or you can say Timbales. But yes, those are just so those of you who might not know what timbales are, they are the drums that Tito Puente plays. They are two kettle drums, and they were created in France. They're part of the timpani drums. If you guys know what the large drums in an orchestra are, or in a symphony band, they hit them with the dom boom. These are just a small derivative of that, and that's why they're called timbales instead of timpani. But it's a derivative of the timpani drum from France, and went to Africa and then to the island of Cuba, and then they changed that. They took the bottom head off, because drums usually have a top head and a bottom head, and so the timbales don't have a bottom head, and that's why they have that very timbalong sound, which is very powerful in the Latin music world, especially when they're doing solos and stuff. And that's what timbales are. My father's one of the pioneers of having his own brand, the Tito Puente LP brand of timbales. I don't have too many photos in here. Everything's over at the studio, but he's known for that. You can see the video, see Tito Puente whacking on these things. But Timbales are the name of the instrument. Not only did that, but he also played 13 other instruments: saxophone,
That's
piano,
what I was saying.
bass.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
next. I'm sorry. That was my next question. How many instruments did your father play? Because he played
He
a
did,
lot of.
from my understanding and what my recollection, he played about 13. So, but that, remember, piano is considered a percussion because it's you hit the key and it's hitting a string.
Mm-hmm.
So he would play piano, played bass. He did play saxophone and every percussion instrument, including the trap drum set, which is that I do have a picture of. There's Tito Puente on the drum set. Old
Wow,
classic photo. Yeah.
and
I hope
that's
I, I hope I look
super
that good on
talented.
my birthday. But yeah, so he played the trap kit too. I was told that my dad played the flute and clarinet, but if he could play saxophone, then that means he could play flute and clarinet because most sax
Wow.
players play the flute. So, but I
Yeah.
never seen him play it. But yes, not only that, we play maraca, cowbell, bongo, conga, chekere. There's so many derivatives of percussion music or percussion instruments. So yeah, 13, a lot of them.
That's
Yeah.
beyond being multi-talented. It is very
Multi
hard to conquer one. It's very hard to
Yeah.
conquer even one instrument.
Yeah, he
How many
mastered
instruments?
that. Yeah, it was incredible. He's also probably a world record holder, and we have to find out, and I'm going to do that before the documentary when we air it, to find out if Tito Puente does hold the world record as the most recorded Latin artist ever with over 186 albums. He has over
Wow.
186 recordings, so I think he's probably up there. Celia Cruz has, I think, about 70 or 80 recordings. Ricky Martin, maybe about 20. Menudo. I can only think back to the biggest Latin artists, like Santana has many recordings, but I don't think anybody has 180. That's a lot of
That's straight
recordings.
MVP status. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get in touch with Guinness Book, and you guys look out for that. Tito Puente should be awarded a Guinness Book of World Records, the most recorded Latin music artist in the world.
Wow, I can't. I
Yeah,
really just can't wait for the docu series. I really
yeah,
can't.
yeah. I'm
I really
excited.
can't. That's one thing I've always loved about like the music business when they do the docu series, and it's just
Yeah, they look great. Now everybody's asking me, who's gonna play Tito Puente in the biopic, and I don't think I could. I have a few choices myself. What I would think would be a kind of, but remember, we want to get Tito Puente from the beginnings, his humble beginnings in Spanish
right,
Harlem, when he was a little
right.
poor Puerto Rican boy living in Spanish Harlem on the third floor. So we got to get a young kid, and then as he grew up to
Mm-hmm,
become the child
mm-hmm.
prodigy, we want to get the essence of that, and I think that's what really we're going to hone in on when we do the docu-series about his life. We want to talk about what really drove Tito Puente to become that childhood kid who didn't have television or even a radio. Back then, this is
Mm-hmm.
1920s. Tito
Yeah.
Puente was 5, 6 years old. What made him want to do music? And we want to discover those
Yeah.
things. So really, really cool.
I really can't wait for that. I don't know what platform you're going to use, but I'm definitely excited to hear about that. I'm
Yes,
definitely
so
excited to hear about
we all are, and everybody's on my case. Like, when's it coming out? When's it coming out?
it.
I can only tell you honestly that I give the footage to the production people in Los Angeles and Hollywood. Then they take their time and they try to splice it up. So it's a little tedious. Plus, they want to make sure that everything's factual.
Yes.
They don't want anything that would be falsified information as far as his history is concerned. So we're fact checking on behalf of my family. I'm fact checking my brother, my sister, my mom. We're all making sure that the facts are straight, because there's a lot of people that are doing testimony in the docuseries, and we want to make sure that they don't give the wrong information. Tito Puente was born and raised in Spanish Harlem. He had a brother and a sister. They both passed
Mm-hmm.
away, and it's a lot of history
Oh,
from the
sorry.
1920s and 30s. I really couldn't tell you because I wasn't there, so
Right.
I'm just the person that's giving the exclusive footage of my father. So, but they have a nice story to tell.
I know it's going to be very great and very eventful and very
Yes,
legendary.
very
Uh,
legendary.
so could you tell? I don't know if this is in your documentary or in your book, because I'm not really asking those kind of questions yet. But How did like you and your mother? How did your father and your mother meet? If it just could say something briefly, it doesn't have to. I don't have to go deeply in it.
Well, Tito Puente was already a local celebrity in New York City in the 1960s. Simply because they called him the King of Mambo at that time. So he was already in his spotlight, and he was married 3 times. My mother was his last wife before his passing. But they met. I think it was a blind date, and my mom's girlfriend brought her to go see Tito Puente live. And my father is vertically challenged. He was only about 5'2" 5'3", and I'm the tallest one in the family. I'm at 5'8", standard size. But my mother was my size, so she was like, and my dad was kind of being flirtatious, I guess, with him after he performed. He said, "Hey, do you like my show?" And my mom was like, "Who's this little short guy over here talking to me?" So my father pursued my mom and brought her flowers and asked her hand for a date. Very professional, very very honorable. My father was very gentlemanlike, and my mom, she got coy with it and just got giddy. And it's got butterflies, and that's how they met. 1963 is when they met.
That's the same year that your dad made Oye Como Va?
That is correct. That is the same year. Yeah. So he made Oye Como Va and met my mother. Then I was born in 71, about 7-8 years later. And then Carlos Santana did Oye Como Va in 1971. So then I was born, and it was just so cool that how the lineage and the history of my father's career and his relationship was with my mother, and then had my sister prior to me, and then my brother, and but yeah, that's how they met. They met at a nightclub called the Palladium, which is very popular in the 1960s in New York City, and that's where all the greatest mambo dancers and mambo artists performed. Johnny Pacheco, Celia Cruz, Tito Rodriguez, Machito, Tito Puente. These were the greatest mambo performers at the time, and they did every Wednesday night, and mambo dancers would flood this place. It was an old Arthur Murray dance studio that they converted into a nightclub, and then that's what they did, and then went up some stairs. It was on East 53rd Street and Broadway, and now it's a parking lot. but that's where they met, and it was an incredible love story, and we're going to talk about that in the movie and documentary.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. How many interests? First, I want to ask before I ask this question. Okay. Will you be doing commentary for the documentary?
Yes, I will be doing.
I hope so, because like you tell the story so well.
Absolutely, yes, I will be doing it along with my family too as well. My brother and my sister. Hopefully, my mom's camera shy, so she's not into it. But of course, my father's orchestra as well, and a lot of friends and performers that work with him, including Sheila E. and hopefully Carlos Santana, and some very big names, and we would hope that they would want to participate in tributing Tito Puente, and they would know because they were there and they work with him, and so that's exciting. But yes, I will be a part of it.
Yes, that is very exciting. How many instruments do you play?
Not as many as my father. I'm going to say I'm in the realm of maybe 5 or 6. I love they say bass players are frustrated drummers and drummers are frustrated bass players. So I played bass in high school, a stand-up bass with the string thing and everything. Like an orchestral bass.
Or a jazz or in a jazz trio.
Yes, like a jazz trio type of stand-up bass. But the damn thing was so heavy, I couldn't take it home. Taking it to school and bringing it home. But then me, like a fool, I picked up the drums, which is just as heavy. But the way I got into playing drums was, your parents always tell you don't touch things that belong to them. And what do you do as a kid? You go and touch them. So that's what I did. My father said, "Don't touch my drums." They were in the garage, and there you go. Me, little Tito Puente Jr., went in the garage and started jamming and whacking on the drums. He also played marimba. My father was a xylophone player. He played the vibes.
Yes, I've seen. Yeah, I did. I did look that up.
a master, a very masterful, work with Mr. Lionel Hampton, and just a fantastic vibe player as well. I never got to learn how to do that, but my brother's very good at it. Like, my brother got the talent for the other instruments that my father played, and then I kind of got the showmanship end of the talent gene from Tito Puente, and I started on trap kit, and then I went to Timbales, and so I played bass, piano as well. I do play piano, and drums. So I'm saying I don't really go near the horn instruments. I'm not good with blowing into things like trumpets and stuff like that. I play the triangle, and I play your mean cowbell, girl. Yeah.
Are you with any organizations or any venues or anything like that at this moment that you want to talk about?
I work with a lot of different organizations. Some are very close to my heart. The Alzheimer's Association of America, simply because my grandmother passed away from that. Things that are close to home for me. And I work a lot with any kids school, any kids programs, and I encourage any of my parents out there who are watching, teach your kids about where Latin music comes from. Teach your kids it's not all about J-Lo and Mark Anthony and Ricky Martin and Bad Bunny. You got to remember the pioneers, the Tito Puentes, the Celia Cruz, the Johnny Pachecos, the Fania. And I encourage them to talk to their schools, conservatories of music, universities, colleges, have those music programs. I think these kids are missing that in the United States, especially in this country. They need to be playing a lot more music. I don't care if it's heavy metal or rock music or hip hop or rap, but they need more musical instruments in these schools. I don't think the music programs are fulfilling the void that's missing. I think there's a lot of talented kids out there in school, and I think they would find some joy in playing a live musical instrument. So if you are a part of a school or conservatory music or university, please talk to them and get the schools funded some way, somehow, and anything that has to do with that, I'll be more than happy to participate in any school participation in getting kids instruments. They need instruments, and they need those drums. Remember, my parents didn't want me to do, they're like, hey, you should be a lawyer or a doctor, and I wanted to play the drums, but they didn't stop me from whacking on them, and I made a lot of noise. But, I'm glad that I did. And that's why I'm happy that I can say that about my children. My kids don't get that opportunity because I see in their school, my kids are 13 and 14, and I don't see any music program in their school. And I wish they had one. So that way little Tito Puente Jr. the third can start jamming too,
Yeah, yeah.
So I really want that. And that's something that I look forward to in the future, maybe getting my father's scholarship fund back up. He had the Tito Puente Scholarship Fund, which gave underprivileged kids a chance to go to music school, Juilliard School of Music in New York, Berkeley School of Music. Yes, so that scholarship was in his name to help kids who are really talented and can't afford those funds to get to those prestigious schools.
Wow.
But hopefully I'll do that in the future as well.
I hope so. I wish you would have been able to speak at least at one of my schools, one of my colleges, because
I would have loved to. Hey, if you can connect me, I would love to be a part of any curriculum that has to do with music education. Hey, Hispanic Heritage Month coming up September 15th, October. We can chat about that, which would be very nice to do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So this is the time in my interview when I ask my guests if they have any questions for me. If they do, they ask me. If they don't, that's fine too.
Okay, I'll ask you a couple of questions. Okay. All right. So now did you ever get a chance or an opportunity? You're very young, I can see. But did you ever get a chance or opportunity, or did your parents get an opportunity to see Tito Puente live?
No, we heard a lot from him, and my mother heard a lot from him, and she tells me about different like cultures, different like Spanish people or Puerto Rican people, Cuban people and stuff like that, who she knew like back in the day and who she went to school with and stuff. And she talked about like working and stuff on farms and stuff when she was younger and stuff. But I start digging into a lot of different music culturally because I feel like we get more as Americans. We get more together and we learn more from each other through learning through our cultures, and there's no better way to do that than music. So this is why I'm really excited for the documentary.
Yeah.
And I want to learn more about it, because when I listen to music, either if it's Latin music or soul music or rock music of the day, I still see like rock singers use stuff from Beethoven and stuff like that. They still use techniques.
That's
and
right.
I still hear like things like reggaeton or something like that uses stuff from your dad's time. And they use stuff from your time. That's how they come up with this type of stuff. This is why I want, like you said, young kids to look into the history about it and understand the building blocks. It had to get here before it got there.
Right. Okay, I have another question for you. Where did you get your formal education? Because you sound like you're very into music culture.
Music culture.
Yeah.
So in 2014, I go to community college in Philadelphia, because that's where I'm from and that's where I live at currently.
Home of brotherly love. Absolutely. Right.
So I graduated in 2018 with a vocal performance degree, because I wanted to sing. And then I get accepted into 3 colleges for my bachelor's in music vocal performance. University of Art, Westchester, and Temple University. I choose Temple University. I go there for music education, but I quickly transfer over to jazz vocal major. I stay there for about 2.5 semesters, and then I go to pursue my career. But I was supposed to be signed to a record label, but that after I finished making some songs, that actually didn't happen. They told me that they didn't want me. So when the pandemic comes, as I'm out looking, like everybody had a job or were looking for a job, and it shuts down everything in 2020. And I said, man, sit back and I say, it is so many talented people out there that are not being seen on certain parts of social media platforms. And I want to open up my platform to do that. And I love music history and instrument history. And I wanted to expose that to like younger people and like young adults and people that just don't know, like they just don't know that all this good stuff is out here, and it's inspirational.
Absolutely, yes,
it's very inspirational. So that's what happened.
Your city, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in general, but Philadelphia is legendary for the fantastic music that's coming out of there. I mean, the history of Philadelphia, my father performed there many times at many different clubs, 930 Club, Trocadero. I go on and on, the old school clubs. But
wow.
The mambo, because Philadelphia is really an extension of New York City, if you really think about it, because a lot of the mambo bands used to perform all the way as far as Washington, D.C. That was really the belt of where mambo was really, king at the time. So that's amazing that you're from a city that's so rich in history and in music history especially. I mean, I happen to be a Boyz II Men fan, hardcore, So, and I also love the Philadelphia Flyers, so I love the sports teams there too. So I'll say. But that's awesome. Tell me.
My mom actually talks about going to school, and her and my aunts going to school with singers. So one of my aunts goes to school with Tammy Terrell. She goes to school with one of the singers, or I think the lead singer from the Stylistics.
Absolutely, that's the band right from there.
Yeah. Yep. And she lives down the street, from Garnett Mims, and she knows his family. And it's all these different things going on. And then she also lives next door to the famous trumpeter Lee Morgan, his mom and his brother.
Wow.
And so that's why I really love talking to you, because so much about music, and you have so much you're like, music is so like rich inside your family. I was like
we connect like that, and that's what I was talking about before, the camaraderie of music. Let's not forget about the roots, man, world famous. Not forget about my man Questlove, because he's just amazing. See, he's a drummer and he loves Tito Puente too, so shouts out to Questlove.
I gotta see y'all do something together.
I would love to. I'm going back and forth with him a little. I was like, man, we gotta do something together. But once we come out of this quarantine, I'd love to get on the jam session with the Roots, because they got a conga player there, so I'd like, you guys gotta put some mambo music in there.
What makes it different is that to have a hip hop group or a rap group with a full band.
Yes,
that's what makes them unique. I was like, That's on a very different level. And I hope to work with you in some shape or form.
Well, that's my third question now. So here's I'm going to put you on the spot now. So let's try to do a duet. So my question first is, would you sing something for me or the fans or everybody? And I will do a duet with my cowbell here. And if you could sing maybe, can you sing a verse for us? I guess that would be my last question for you. I would love to hear something.
Sure. I'm thinking of a song. I actually wrote a song, and it's called Closer Than Yesterday. And it's actually something that's emotional. It's actually something that's emotional, and it's definitely fitting for what's happening now.
All right. So why don't you give me out a verse? I'd like to hear it. Do a verse chorus, Scott.
Just know we're closer than yesterday. Closer than friends and closer than twins, and brighter than a sunset on a sunny day. Yeah. So,
woo,
that's man. Just a little bit. I never would expect that would be singing for you.
I was going into yoga right there. I was like, oh, my ears were being massaged. You were massaging me with that beautiful voice. Oh,
thank you
that was
so
awesome.
much. Thank you so much, Tito.
I love that.
I did not think I would do that, but I was so. I actually, amazing. It's been inside of me for a while.
And I love it. I love it. You're fantastic. And to me, that's so like the camaraderie, and that's what I say. Surround ourselves with creative people. We bounce off each other like that. Your voice is awesome. I was getting right into it. I was like, yeah. I was feeling it. I can't wait. So tell me, are you going to eventually put out a release?
So I made 4 songs. I wrote 4 songs, and I actually was with someone that I was a classmate with. Him and his wife created a production company called Good Cat Productions, and we did 4 songs together. So the 2 songs that I really, really hold dear to me is Voices and Closer Than Yesterday, and I will send those actually to you, like a link for you to hear both of those.
Love to.
And I hope to start getting back in the studio and working on music sometime in the, what do I want to say, like, later on this year. Later on this year, summertime, and go into production and start doing stuff like that. And I would love to talk to you about it and work with you with it and talk to you about it.
Sure.
So
that's great. Well, we will be doing a lot more, and it's a pleasure chatting with you. I'll shoot you my email as well, and I'd love to hear those demos. And let's talk about Hispanic Heritage Month. I'd love to talk to some students. I love Philadelphia. I think it's a beautiful city. I think there's a big Latin culture there too. They love jazz, Latin and jazz music there. I go every year, so I'm here in South Florida. Of course, this is the center of all the Latin stuff, but I go up to New York all the time, and Philadelphia is just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yes. So I hope to see. If you ever come to Philadelphia, or if I'm ever in Florida, I hope to see you in person. I hope to work with you. I hope to work and see what you do. And I hope that I see you in school. And I hope we just like keep talking to each other during Latin.
Yeah, in fact, okay, here's the deal. You got VIP tickets to the show if I come out to Philly. However, you got to bring mom, and she got to dance mambo.
You got to teach us.
All right?
You have to teach us.
All right. You got to open. I'm gonna because your mom never got a chance to see my dad. I want her to see me at least. Yeah.
And my niece. I will definitely bring my niece.
We got to bring her too. All right, cool. That's a deal.
Could you tell everybody where they can find you from again on your social media platforms before I wrap up?
Sure. 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 So right here on IG, you guys can follow me at Tito Puente Jr. And then I'm also on Facebook. I have a fan page there. I do a lot of lives from there. So you'll see a lot of exclusive stuff of me recording for the next couple of. We're doing mixing now, and the record will be out on the 1st. But check me out on Facebook Live. It's facebook.com/Tito Puente Jr. I also have a YouTube channel you can subscribe to at Tito Puente Jr. And you can find me on TikTok, Tito Puente Jr. 1. And I'm kind of doing some funny things there with my kids, and you can laugh at my butt. And you can make fun of me. My birthday's coming up June 2nd. I'll be big 50, big 50.
Right, and, happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm so excited about it. And I got some great concerts again coming up. You can find all those on all my social media platforms, including here on Instagram, where I'll be performing live this summer. And I should be coming to your town real soon. To anybody who's watching, I see a couple of friends there watching us. So I'll be in your town. I'll be on the West Coast. I'll be going to Oakland. I'll be going to San Francisco, California, Texas, Chicago, definitely. Philly, I'm looking at, I'll be not in Philly, but I'll be in Delaware. I'm doing Baltimore, which isn't too far.
Wow.
I'm doing a jazz festival there in the summer, so I'll make sure that you guys know about that. And that's great. You can follow me on all these digital platforms. Look out for the new album. It's called The King and I, coming out June 2nd on all digital platforms, and I'll have some T-shirts and merchandise, and great things are happening for Tito Puente, the camp, and the whole history of Tito Puente. You guys will see that in the docu-series coming out in this winter. So it'll be winter 2021. I'm not sure if it'll be on Hulu or Netflix, but one of them going to pick it up. So
yeah,
excited.
I'm definitely going to share it and let everyone know where after you get it out and which platform you want to use.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell thank you to the viewers, and I wanted to say thank you, Tito Puente Jr., for coming through and talking to me and chatting with me and sharing all of your father's rich history as well as yours. And that's what I wanted to say.
Oh, I appreciate you, Shayrenee. You're a lovely lady. I appreciate your voice. Thank you for interviewing me. Let's keep in touch. And a seguirle el mambo a toda la gente que siguiendo a Tito Puente. Long live the King Tito Puente. Check it out, www.thetitopuenteproject.com, and you guys can see all the great stuff happening with yours truly, TP Jr. and the old man, who will long live in this world with his mambo music. Thanks again.
Yeah, with his legacy. Thank you, and have a great night.
God bless you. Huepa!